Leo, thanks for popping into our lives this morning. It's fantastic to spend a little time with you. I feel like it's been too long. I don't know, 24 hours, give or take. Between editions of the Today in AZ After Show. That's Director Craig pointing at producer Alyssa, pointing at a sign.
They're all pointing at each other.
That sign was probably pretty expensive to make.
The sign said exit. He's trying to get the camera out.
Oh, he's trying to run.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Yes, it's already Tuesday. Can you believe it? I know.
Where'd we get these cookies at?
I don't know, but I
You
just
know
had
what I love is that it doesn't matter where they came from, but any random food in a newsroom, it just all gets eaten. No one knows.
I used to bring leftovers, my leftover dinner, so that way I wouldn't eat it and they would eat it in here.
That's smart. If you want to give stuff away, I mean,
Yeah.
I want that stuff for myself.
See, I consider leftovers like lazy meal prepping.
Well, it's like usually like oregano's or something, and I can't eat it again.
What are you knocking yourself for that? Yes, that is it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you eat it right then, and then hopefully you have like two. I mean, I'm single, so.
No, you're thinking in your head, well, what about Wednesday?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so gotta have it.
I got 2 servings of frozen stir fry chilling in my freezer that I took from one apartment to another yesterday when I moved.
Wow,
Instead of
what
just
effort.
throwing them out, I'm like, I want these leftovers so bad.
I love leftovers.
That's what I'm wondering. What's your favorite leftover? Like if you're going to a restaurant, I know yours would for sure be Olive Garden.
OG?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
pasta.
pasta holds
there
up
was a
well.
study too that just came out that said pasta is actually lower calorie when it's reheated. So
What? Don't tell me that.
I know we should have led the
My
show with this
mind
this
is
morning. I don't know why
How
we
does
didn't.
that make sense?
It's something about the way the starches break down.
Oh, I haven't had pasta in like a year.
They
Wait a
say
minute,
scientists say it tastes better and it has fewer calories.
Well, when that happens, I go to oregano's because you get
Oh,
the
I
bolo
love-
pasta and it's
Oregano's
like a
dope.
never-ending bowl of spaghetti.
Yeah.
And so you eat one and then you tell me you want another one and then you're like, oh, I'm full. And then you take it to go.
Guys, I was in
Just picturing Vanessa at Oregano's. I'd like one, and then she eats it and goes, I would like another one.
Hey, if you can do it, just go for it.
I was in a really bad place mom-wise. I mean, like it's one of those days where like your kids are like, Mama, go away from me. And so
You're hiding in the bathroom.
I had a bowl of like a bowl that I had made the night before. It's cold, and I'm just eating it by myself.
Cold
because my
pasta's
eyes
bomb.
It was really
I love it.
Golly. And the salt from my tears even made it better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go. You know, I
Delicious.
make the zoodles, the zucchini.
I've
noodles.
never
Those
made
are good.
You know,
Okay.
I thought I was okay with it until we had this pasta conversation. Now I'm wondering what I'm doing with my life.
My
You only
problem
live
with
once.
zoodles-
Eat the pasta.
Very wet though, right?
I know. So you can kind of like squeeze it first and try to get the juice out. And yeah, just you cook it down and it does get a little juicy.
Oh, wait. Michelle said rolls from Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, that butter with the cinnamon in
Yeah,
it.
but you know what bothers me a lot
What?
is when they prejudge you and give you like 2 rolls when you're like, wait a minute, I'm a 4 roll kind of girl.
Right?
Wait.
Slow your roll.
You want to roll with me?
You know where I go crazy on bread is the Cheesecake Factory.
The brown bread.
Oh, the brown one.
You know that you
yes.
can buy a loaf of the brown bread now,
From Cheesecake Factory?
like in the grocery store apparently. Yeah.
You know they sell cheesecake there, what I heard.
It's not the same.
What page of the menu is
But-
that
I don't know.
I know.
45 probably, knowing how big
That
that
is the
menu
best
is.
menu ever.
The menu's the size of this table.
Can we go there
Yeah,
later
we got to
today?
get to our topic
Okay.
this morning. We're just blathering at this point.
okay.
Which is fine. I assume you're watching for some amount of blather. Is that blather?
Oh, I thought you almost said black.
Oh, Erica, my girl. I already love her comment.
But-
Well, let's go over the topic.
Oh, so I'm trying to get my thing to load. I can't see the viewer comments yet, but I can tell you about the topic because me and producer Alyssa decided to dip into the rainy day bank today. So our topics on the show were a little too heavy for like the nature of this format, so we decided to pull one out that we've been saving for a while. And it is, what is something that the older generations do that is a head scratcher to you? Like, does grandpa or grandma have some weird habit or weird food that they still eat? Like maybe, you know, something that they grew up in the Depression and so they never throw away old coffee cans. They always turn them into flower pots or something. Like, what's something that your dad does that you laugh every time he does it? Like, what is this old man up to? Share one of your stories about the older generation here in the comment section. We'll read them on the internet television show you're watching.
Erica, hers is not lighthearted. Hers is complain about millennials when they don't even know who millennials are. She goes on to say, and then criticize us even though they're the ones who ruined our economy. So
Hey,
Whoa.
shot across the bow from the millennials. this
things are getting intense in the comments. But, you know, I do feel sometimes a little hurt. Like, I would go beyond offended and say I am hurt sometimes when the older generations go after millennials. And one time I tweeted, I was like, yeah, we're awful. We don't drink and drive. We Uber everywhere. We adopt, don't shop. We recycle. Like, are we really that bad just because I don't believe in a traditional 40-hour work week?
No.
And I want to have more freedom in my life. That doesn't make me lazy. I have more jobs than anyone I know, but I've created my own type of schedule.
It's technology.
We tie with that, actually.
That's true, yeah. But I feel like I'm very strongly judged for not, I don't believe in retiring, which is something we talked about earlier today. There's a lot of like traditional stuff that I don't believe in, and I get cast off as like lazy just because I don't want to do a 9 to 5 every day.
I would dog the older generation for doing that, but I know I'm going to be that older generation at some point who will.
And you're going to
Yeah.
think the same thing. It's just advancements
True.
in technology is all it
Yes,
is. So
yeah.
that's the
totally.
root of the evil. Listen, do you think that those guys, 40, 50 years ago would have wanted to work 60-hour work weeks if they had machines that could do their jobs for them? Well, no. We have, and millennials deserve a little bit of the credit for this, found a way to make our lives simpler, easier, and more time effective. So why should we have to
But
suffer?
have we? Have we? Because then you
Well,
look
yes
at
and
other
no,
things that
because
have happened.
we also
Depression's on the rise,
Right.
mental illness, things
Yeah.
like that.
But that is also a function of
Anxiety.
new technology, in my opinion, because
Absolutely.
millennials have had to grow up learning how to understand technology that, quite frankly, I don't think any of us really understand. I mean, this group of people grew up with the internet.
Right.
We were the first ones, the guinea pigs, that had to learn the damaging effects of social media, that had to learn what being glued to your phone 24/7, 365 will do
Can
to
do
you.
to your brain,
Hopefully, the
totally.
next generation doesn't have to cope with that because us millennials fell on the sword for you. You're welcome, baby
Let's
boomers.
talk about
I
some
don't
fun
know.
comments. Brian
Yeah,
says,
hit us up.
Grandma used to make Jell-O with shredded lettuce in it. Ew.
What? I've never, but I've heard of other people who have done that. They throw everything in there. Everything but the kitchen sink.
Oh,
My goodness.
yeah, like
in
leftover
Jell-O
stuff.
molds.
Yeah. Joyce said my mother-in-law used to wash out and reuse bread wrappers. Hey, that is efficient and reusing plastic.
That is kind of a wild thing to do.
It's weird.
That
but-
is very
My
weird.
grandpa, before he died, loved Spam. Like, he had to eat Spam during the Depression, and he just acquired a taste for it. He would want Spam.
Do you like Spam?
Heck no.
I've never tried it.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day in my family when we were hungry. My grandma, there were so many grandkids. There's
Yeah.
a lot of us. So my grandmother, or as we call her, Nana, she would make us tortillas with bologna, and you'd put the bologna on the stove first, and then you would wrap it up in the tortilla, and you'd eat it like that.
Oh. See, in our household growing up, if you didn't like what was being served, then you were able to have milk with pieces of bread tossed in it. And my dad always ate it.
Really?
Always ate it. Always ate it. Bread and milk. Yeah.
I mean, in some ways,
That
I
is-
guess that's like soggy cereal and leftover milk.
well,
you know
and
what I
when
mean?
you
Like
were
the same
when you
flavor
were the
profile.
child who opted out for the dinner and chose that instead, you'd always pretend like you were like an inmate or something. We'd play that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, "Ugh, hard
Another
day."
serving of gruel, please.
Hey, I was spoiled when it comes to that growing up with my mom because my dad and I didn't like all the meals that my mom would eat, so she would make 2. And then finally,
Wow,
one
clutch.
day she was like, you know what? You guys are eating what I'm eating. And we had chicken for the rest of our lives.
Someone gave me advice though.
Hey, but it was lean.
Yeah, someone gave me advice though, going into motherhood, that you should never do 2 meals, because then you'll do 3. It's
a slippery slope.
And then
And
4.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then they just expect you to cater to their every need.
Totally.
Curtis said they washed our mouths with soap. Who had to have their mouth washed out with soap?
Not me, but I did do the soap
Really?
washing once.
Yeah.
I made my little brother
Your
puke.
brother?
Yeah, he deserved
Oh
it.
my gosh, I got my my mouth washed out with soap one time, and let me tell you, it didn't help because.
It makes you want to say some four-letter
She still has a
words.
potty mouth. Amy Grote wrote, use their cell phones on speakerphone in public. I see
Oh, I
that
can't
all
take
the
it.
time.
I can't take it.
Yeah.
No. Do you FaceTime
You
in
do?
public, Emma?
Yeah. Oh gosh, all the time.
Do you have
Talking
the
to my
earbuds at
sisters.
least?
Emma, I love you so
N-O,
much.
'cause I
but
don't
you're-
like earbuds. I know, you guys.
Oh my
My
God.
mom
Hit me.
constantly.
Like, listen, think about the places I'm in
I
public
can't.
though. Like, I'm
Can't.
around, like, I'm changing a diaper while I'm doing it. Like,
Okay,
it's
I
just-
get that. I get that.
Yeah.
If you're like in a bathroom, but it's when people are like walking around a store on FaceTime. I don't
Yeah,
understand
that
it.
is
You ever play
That might
you ever
be
play
me.
the game talking to someone on a phone earpiece you can't see or schizophrenic? Because that happens all the time. You see people just walking down the street talking to themselves, and you're like, this guy either got into some bad stuff, or he's on the phone and is a completely normal human being.
And you don't see any.
I mean, eventually the
Buds,
buds
though?
are going to be so small that they're just
true.
going to be
They're gonna be,
cochlear
like,
implants,
implanted.
and
Yeah.
we're not going to know if you're talking to me or somebody else. There's nothing more awkward than like responding to someone that you think is talking to you, and they
Oh.
look at you like you have antlers on
happens
your head.
all the
like,
time.
That's why I
sir,
am
clearly
so
I'm talking
against,
on the phone.
I'm against ear pods because of that.
She's
Because I
anti-ear,
think-
actually.
Well, I
She's
think
taking
that
a hardline
it
stance.
prevents people from having those like face-to-face
Yeah.
conversations that are so necessary.
I don't know though. If you're on an airplane, I think that that's an exception. To
Well,
the
that's a
rule.
lawless place. It's like
It
international
is
waters.
A lawless place.
International skies, different set of rules.
Because what happens is I'm a pretty friendly person, but that doesn't mean it's an invitation to prevent me
No,
from
sure.
sleeping or watching Stranger Things on Netflix on the flight.
What you
know?
got, Ness?
Wait, I have to share Ted's. Put their teeth in a cup overnight.
Well, some people have to
dentures,
do
You
that.
gotta do what you gotta do.
You know? We have to remind people, too, that this is a fun, lighthearted show.
Oh, we got people hating on the show?
Yes, it's not a news.
Oh,
I'll give them the rigmarole real quick. So this is like a conversational thing. This is our chance to interact with you guys. So if you have like a question for us or like something to weigh in on in the comment section, we like interact with you by name. It's why we all have our phones out. Not a news program. We just did 2.5 hours of news. This is like our 19th hole. This is like the drink after the round is
Yeah.
done. That's what this show is.
except,
That's the way I'm going to start.
You know what though? Where's my Coors Light if that's what this is?
It's here. You can have some.
With sports coffee. Sports coffee.
What's in here?
Sports coffee. Stop asking questions.
This is true. Chris Thompson said he had to show his mom how to use a touchscreen phone.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I had to train
trying
my
to
dad on
show
the
them.
iPhone, too. Oh, you want to talk about weird social interactions real fast? I had a really funny one yesterday I haven't shared yet. So I moved yesterday, for those of you who don't follow me on social media, and I had to bring stuff up from my car, but I had to use the same elevator that the movers were using, which only slowed the process. You're welcome for the $600 I spent yesterday, low-budget moving company. And that's literally the name of it, too. It was
okay.
not low budget.
It's okay,
I'm
Paul.
sorry, I'm freaking
You're
out.
okay.
So I got into the elevator with an armful of crap, and the elevator opened and I could see feet in there. And I was like, oh, it's the movers because nobody else is using this elevator. So you can imagine me with 2 flower pots in my hands walking in like this. And I thought of the line as the door slowly opened, like what I was going to say to him to try to be funny and clever. And I was like, fancy seeing you. And there was just some random dude. And he just looked at me like, flower pot guy, what are you so excited to see me for? And I was like, sorry, man. I thought you were somebody else.
But if you are friendly, people are so uncomfortable.
Oh, it's weird.
with it.
Yeah.
Like,
whoa, what's up?
I'll smile at people or say hi, and I think that we're just a little bit more like apt to do that because of our job.
Yeah.
And people will be so uncomfortable, and then I feel bad that I made them uncomfortable by being myself.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We'll go back to not looking at you
Wait,
again.
can we rewind a second? You were carrying flower pots.
2 of
I
them.
thought I knew you very well, and I didn't take you for a plant guy.
Oh,
what do
so-
you have in the flower pots?
We don't want to know what he really has in the flower pots.
Is it legal?
Can't grow flowers, but I can grow pot. No, it's I have a peace lily. I have a little collection of small cacti, which are about twice the size they were when I purchased them.
Good job.
And I've got a big pot full of succulents.
Okay, good.
The survivors, we'll call them, because
Yeah.
there were other succulents.
Were
that
you
didn't make it.
overwatering your succulents?
Probably.
It's
Yeah.
a very common problem.
Probably, but the hardy ones were the ones that could obviously handle more water because they're still around. I'm always
Stephanie,
looking for
she's on her phone because the whole point of this show is so that we can interact with
Oh,
you.
we getting a lot
Yeah,
of guff
I'm
today?
reading a lot of things,
Yeah.
You're giving us
actually.
guff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all have our phones out here.
Yeah.
Okay, but because this one, Cheryl is really upset at us.
Okay, hit us up.
She said, this is crazy. I'm 61, and all you're talking about is not from my time. It's from my grand or great-grandparents' time, so y'all generations behind. Your families are. My grandfather talked about the bread and milk. You're saying you did that. Remember, you're going to be our age sooner or later.
No, we
but
know.
I
But
don't-
you can also
hopefully,
share other
I hope I'll be
generation
your
stories.
age.
I want to hear about the generation before that. I want to hear about what weird stuff they were into.
Weird stuff they were into.
Right? We're all into weird stuff.
Weird stuff. Somebody else said that their dad yells on the phone, speakerphone, like yells.
Oh, yeah.
Hey!
Yes. That's a technology thing that I think
Yeah.
like older generations have a tough time adjusting to. Because you wouldn't think. I do that in my car. I'm that
I
guy
was
in the
just
car.
gonna say, when I'm in the car and the Bluetooth is on.
Yeah, I can hear you. Wow, this is great technology. I'm like Andy Samberg on SNL.
That was from Jennifer Wright, by the
Will
way.
Ferrell, the voice of modulation guy. I have a problem with voice modulation. I cannot control the volume or tone of my voice.
You know the
I'm
craziest
really
thing is,
covered
my
in
grandmother just got on Facebook. She is 88 years old.
Ooh, good for her.
She can
Lady
salsa dance
doctor.
like no other.
Yeah, and she looks like she is.
Yeah, so
probably-
she is on. So yesterday I went to go visit her, and so all of a sudden she gets quiet. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like on her.
Yeah. Now you know how it feels.
You're not keeping my attention.
I'm like,
anymore,
"Oh,
Ness.
okay,
Sorry.
Nana." She's like looking at everybody's stuff and showing me pictures.
Hey, Ruben says, I like most of your guys' topics. Cool to interact with you all. With a smiley face. Ruben.
Oh, sweet. I thought there was going to be a
Ruben.
butt.
But
All right, hey,
today-
let's take a
I
quick
like
break from this.
Ruben.
Let's hit our ICYMI. We had a great guest in the studio today. Mark Kelly, Democratic Senate nominee, former astronaut, which is what our ICYMI is about today, space. Next week marks 50 years since the Apollo 11 mission. As a former NASA astronaut, what does that achievement mean to you?
Well, and also as a former little kid.
That's what I was gonna say.
I was in kindergarten when.
Oh my gosh, do you remember? Can you recall when?
So this is interesting. So my twin brother, who's also an astronaut,
Yes.
he clearly remembers Apollo 11.
And you?
My mother says I fell asleep on the floor. So I totally missed it. I do remember the later Apollo flights.
The average person takes 7 minutes to do this. We receive tons of text messages and guesses from
We're going to skip
showering.
over the text, so we're going to go right
Yeah.
to Mark Kelly. Mark, what do you think? 7 minutes to do
7
this.
minutes?
Hurry before you
Oh,
see the answer.
walking the dog.
Walking the dog.
Okay.
Answer.
That's a good
Fall
one.
asleep. The answer is fall asleep. Okay.
It's not every
your
day we
secrets
get
to
an
doing them 7
astronaut's take.
Yeah. Walking the dog.
I
7
like
minutes.
that.
Take like 30 seconds to fall
Yeah.
asleep.
How long in space, though? Because then
lucky
you start
you.
In
thinking.
space, it's tough.
Yeah.
No pillow. You can't put your head down.
Oh my gosh.
You can't lay down?
Oh my gosh.
So it's really, you're just floating, so it's
Stop.
really hard to fall asleep.
Is it peaceful to be floating though? It
Kind
sounds
of.
kinda nice.
But the problem is that every time you went to sleep for your whole life, you were laying on a bed with your head on a pillow, and now it's different.
Wow.
You're
that's
bumping
wild.
into your,
It is really hard.
I could have talked to him
Right.
for hours.
Yeah.
Because it is an astronaut, for goodness sakes. Like that alone is so, he's been places that, a handful of people have been. Space, outer space, for goodness
Yeah.
sakes.
Well, and there's so much that you don't think about that makes their life in
Like
space so
sleep.
different. I never would have thought about that. The fact he
Right.
said you can't use the pillow and
Could you imagine
like,
trying?
every 3
You're like
hours.
keep reaching for it. You're like, where is it at?
It's like sitting in the window seat on an airplane, but without having the thing to rest your head on.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh, it was so interesting. And also hearing about when he decided to be an astronaut, what he's wanted to be when he was younger and then kind of forgot about it
In
and came
high
back to it in
school.
high school. Yeah. Then was a Navy pilot. It's just such an interesting career. Because I even said that I wanted to be an astronaut, that I wanted to go to space. But I didn't actually like follow it, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, that
I
was
think
my
it's
backup
easy
plan.
to say that when you're little and then you realize
Yeah.
the reality of it all.
Just like you want to be a doctor, and then you find out how much school you have to do, and you're
Yeah.
like, nope, I'm
You know
good.
what? But isn't that sad when reality hits you in the face when you're like, oh, like I can't be. Yeah, well, I think who did I want? I can't be Oprah.
You can still be Oprah.
Well, I'm sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, even
Yeah.
in like my current like iteration of myself, like I think about like big long-term goals, and I stop myself. I'm like, that's a lot of work. Like
It's a
now,
lot of
even
work.
as
That
adults,
makes
you're
me
more adjusted. You're like,
sad.
I don't really feel like doing all the stuff it would take to get there. Like I'm
Yeah.
pretty good where I'm
Well,
at.
I think that's good with self-awareness. And
Yeah.
one thing that kind of bothers me is that I have a lot of people who ask me like, hey, what are you going to do next? Like, when are you going to go to LA? Do you want to go to the network? And I'm like, I don't even have a resume tape. Like, I'm so happy in Arizona, and people are always asking these questions. I guess because I'm
What's
31, I
next?
think
Yeah.
it has to
No,
do
it's
with
always
age.
what's
Yeah, and you
Like,
get that from
what's
everyone.
next?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so content where I'm at, and I feel so happy, and I love our community. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. And we live in this society now where it's like you're
What's
supposed to be
next?
planning for the next thing. You need to make more money. You need to get married. You need to.
Well, yeah,
I'm
it's the
just
same thing
cruising.
with who are you dating? And when you're dating, when are you guys gonna get
Yeah.
engaged?
And when are you gonna have a
engaged,
baby?
Married, baby.
You know what I get asked
I'm
all
single.
the time?
I'll probably always be
What?
single, and that's the way it is.
all the time. When are you gonna freeze your eggs?
No.
Yes.
Stop
I
it,
keep mine in the
Vanessa.
fridge.
All the time.
Now listen, I have talked to you about that, but we're best friends. But it is an inappropriate thing that people will come up and say because they assume that
Yeah.
you're on to the next thing.
Okay, I'm 31. When do I need to prepare to punch somebody in the face when they say that to me?
I'm like, it's already too late. They're already messed up.
I think Eden was like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks old, and someone was like, oh, not even out, like maybe a week. So when are you guys thinking about the next one?
Well, you
Brad's
say
like
tomorrow.
dead on
Like
the floor.
that.
I wish yesterday, you know, like, but why is it like that? I wonder if there's some sort of a perception that when people come and talk to you, that maybe it doesn't seem like you are like content with your life, so they want to like see what's next, or what is it?
No, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for
Okay.
you here.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are awkward conversationalists,
Yeah.
and myself included. And so, like, the next easiest question
sense.
is just to ask about aspirations and plans because they may not know about your past. Like, I bet a lot of people that know you work here don't know where you were previous to this.
Yeah.
And just like I don't know the future, but I can ask about the future. The past is going to be a long ass story.
Yeah, and the past could like bring up some some ugly
So instead
things.
of asking about what I don't know
It's an
about
easy
you
route.
behind, I want to
Yeah.
ask about what lies ahead for you.
Yeah.
It's easy that way.
That's funny because it's always family though too,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Family.
I don't
your
know. I
career.
feel like it's a lot of like random people. And,
Not all of us
it's-
have access to your DMs. You know that.
Oh, but it seems
Well, no,
everyone
it is
does.
family, but I meant they always talk about my family and career.
Right.
But so yes, random
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
I get approached
Yeah.
at the D-backs game too with some really odd questions, and I'm like, oh wow, like it's just. Am I going to share that with you?
Any last weird older generation things to get to before we go?
Retirees shop on the weekends. That's from Kathleen.
Oh, that's cute.
Growing hair out of their ears, says Jimmy Dean.
I don't
Are you the
think so.
sausage magnate?
Oh, this is so funny. Eddie said, it seems that folks older than me mix up sending private messages with public posts.
Yeah.
You nailed it, Eddie.
Yeah.
That is something that I see so often, and then I almost feel bad for them, and I do tell them that they're sharing this stuff that they obviously thought was personal. I don't
Guys,
know.
just last night.
Do tell.
We got a story to end the show here. We got to wrap it. This is worth sticking around for. I can tell.
A message from a man who is going through a divorce, but it was from his ex-wife.
No.
On his Instagram.
Drama.
What? So she finally she realized that she was on his account. Yes!
Oh.
Yes! And then she sends me a message and says, oops, I'm on the wrong account.
Why is she still on his account?
When you get married, are you supposed to share account info like
No.
that?
No.
Okay, I'm not, because
Yeah,
if that's a
depends.
requirement, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
What if she was creeping on his page?
Girl, what if? Of course he was.
Well, they're
Come
already getting
on.
divorced
What do you mean,
anyway.
what if?
We knew that things went wrong.
40 years from now, if television exists as it does, there are going to be 4 idiots sitting in a circle talking about how the older generation used to send DMs from the wrong Instagram
That's true.
account.
Yeah.
And somebody will be sitting here going, how ridiculous is that?
Oh my
I log
God.
in with my eyeballs now. Anyway, we got to go. After show 7:30 tomorrow. Same time, knuckleheads to steal a
You
line from
would
PTI.
have
We'll do it again then.
my gosh, how embarrassing.
I know.
People with burner
And then to
accounts are even
follow
worse.
and
Like the
follow.
fake accounts that talk other people
It was
up.
weird. She could have just